Up to a third of the people who've tested positive for COVID-19 may not show any immediate symptoms. That's according to classified Chinese government data seen exclusively by the South China MorningPost. The data shows that by the end of February, more than 43,000 people in China with COVID-19 did not display any symptoms such as persistent dry cough, fever, or trouble breathing. These asymptomatic carriers were put in quarantine and monitored, but they were not included in the official tally of confirmed cases in China, which at the time stood at about 80,000. The revelation could further complicate global efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19. It comes as a leading Chinese expert on infectious diseases warns that Europe's battle with COVID-19 could last much longer than most people expect. The disease is spreading especially quickly on the continent, which is now the worst hit in this global pandemic. It would be perfectly normal if the virus comes and goes and lasts for 1 or 2 years, said Dr. Zhang Wenhong. The head of Shanghai's COVID-19 clinical expert team made the remarks during a video conference with mostly Chinese expatriates and students in Germany. I can tell you now, forget the idea that the pandemic will come to an end in Europe in the near future, he said. Although many European countries, including Italy, Spain, and France, have started lockdowns, Zhang says far more extreme measures must be taken if the disease is to be brought under control. If the whole world could stop moving for 4 weeks, he said, the pandemic could be stopped. Zhang also acknowledged that the shutdown scenario is practically impossible. Self-isolation and social distancing are being strongly recommended, but for now are not mandatory in the United Kingdom. And it wasn't until nearly 4,000 people in the country tested positive for COVID-19 that Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced,
"We are collectively telling cafes, pubs, bars and restaurants to close tonight as soon as they reasonably can and not to open tomorrow."
Meanwhile, countries like Russia are still trying to carry on with business as usual. Russia has banned foreigners from entering, but shopping malls, restaurants and other public facilities remain open.
Благодаря оперативным мерам, принятым заранее, и на региональном уровне, и на федеральном, уже в первые недели развития эпидемии в мире, нам удалось все-таки сдержать массовое, именно хочу подчеркнуть, массовое проникновение и распространение болезни в России.
Officials say just over 250 people in the country of 146 million have tested positive for the disease. But critics accuse Russian authorities of misdiagnosis and covering up the true extent of infections. And if the data about the number of asymptomatic carriers in China is reflected in other countries, there could be tens of thousands of people, if not more, who could be silently spreading COVID-19. Other studies suggest similar or even higher figures for asymptomatic carriers. For example, of the 712 people on the Diamond Princess cruise ship who tested positive for the disease, 334, or 47%, showed no symptoms. It's difficult to know the exact number because countries like the United States, Britain, and Italy are not testing people unless they have symptoms. And scientists are still divided about how infectious these asymptomatic carriers are. The United Nations World Health Organization previously said transmission from carriers showing no symptoms was extremely rare. The WHO team that visited China in February estimated asymptomatic transmissions accounted for 1 to 3% of COVID-19 cases, according to a European Union paper. Public health experts say a better understanding of asymptomatic COVID-19 cases and their level of transmission is necessary to adjust national strategies in the fight to end the global pandemic.